think are very interested, and I noticed it in the chat as well, so I want to kind of speak for them and ask this, and I think Jay could really speak to this, or maybe not, I don't know. But the Jeffree Star aspect of this story, and I touched on it in my video, and but I didn't have all the facts, and people kind of corrected me and said, you know, when Jeffree Star tweeted what he tweeted about Davi being a pedophile, Jeffree worked with him afterwards, which shocked me. I thought it was, you know, Jeffree worked with him and then tweeted that and then it was over.
What do you mean you didn't have all of the facts? They were right there, 20 seconds into the video of mine that you downloaded for your video. That's a lie, Blaire. That's a lie.
80K YouTuber T Mimi angry with 800K YouTuber Blaire White for lifting her video. But is it really just about getting credit from Blaire White, or is there something more sinister going on here? Hi, I'm Tommy C, and this is Shot from the Point, an exclusive with give him credit as he always is able to do, shake up the internet. Shot from the Point's owns Nick DiOrio. Let me get you on this track. It's a little complicated. It's a little more complicated than what we normally cover here. We have the creator T Mimi. She's been doing videos on Jeffree Star, and singer Davi Vanity of Blood on the Dance Floor fame. Now, Davi Vanity has been long accused for the better part of a decade of being an abuser of kids. And we're not going to be getting into that today. This is strictly a YouTube criticism, but just to let you know, Davi is kind of setting himself up to be the new Onision on the platform. Chris Hansen firmly has him on his sights. But again, we won't be talking about Davi just yet and the allegations. We may be doing it in the future, considering Chris is covering it, and it's probably going to be the new Onision story as the current Onision story seems to be fading. We have Mimi, and she made this video on Davi Vanity, and she took the time to find these old posts from Davi, and I'll show it to you. And listen to the music. That's what's important here. Listen to the music.
But yeah, I've got some new music coming your way. I know I've been really quiet with that. You know, we've been taking our time. We don't like to rush anything.
Okay. Now, this particular thing was lifted, and Blaire White has copped to this, in her video exposing Davi Vanity worse than Onision. Here it is.
I've got some new music coming your way. I know I've been really quiet with that. You know, we've been taking our time. We don't like to rush anything.
So Blaire didn't actually find the clip herself, and she lifted it from T Mimi. That in itself, I mean, it's probably nice, especially a YouTuber with her stature, to credit it. But that's not what this is about. What this is about is Blaire White appears to let Jeffree Star off the hook a bit to kind of zero in on her new target, Davi Vanity. And what do I mean by that? Apparently, Jeffree Star was involved very closely with the band Blood on the Dance Floor. In 2010, he put out a tweet claiming that Davi Vanity was taking advantage of underage children. He then went on to promote the band in 2012, and he actually did a song with the band in 2014. Where the problem lies is Blaire seems to kind of leave that out. Now, she claims she didn't know it at the time, but there's also a problem with that. But let's get to this first. Let me show you Blaire's video.
About Davi, Jeffree says, I'm going to speak the truth till I die. We saw Davi bring underage girls to his hotel room and do sexual things. 100% illegal. And this is after touring together, doing music together. I personally went to a couple of these tours when I was a kid, probably 15 years old. And Jeffree says, I no longer support Davi Vanity and how disgusting he is. Touching and enjoying attention is evil. Off, sicko. Being on tour with a child has made me see the truth. I regret ever doing a song with that pig. Rest in peace, because you'll never be me. If you support that piece of then unfollow me because you're supporting child molestation. Davi is the lowest, worthless scum I've ever met.
Now, in fairness to Blaire, she did claim that she didn't have all the facts at the time, and it was simply a mistake.
Interested, and I noticed it in the chat as well, so I want to kind of speak for them and ask this, and I think Jay could really speak to this, or maybe not, I don't know. But the Jeffree Star aspect of this story, and I touched on it in my video, and but I didn't have all the facts, and people kind of corrected me and said, you know, when Jeffree Star tweeted what he tweeted about Davi being a pedophile, Jeffree worked with him afterwards, which shocked me. I thought it was, you know, Jeffree worked with him and then tweeted that and then it was over.
But that becomes very, very difficult to believe that is true, because it's in the same video that Blaire used to lift that Davi Vanity clip from T Mimi. T Mimi actually had the information in that same video that Jeffree Star continued to work with Blood on the Dance Floor, Davi Vanity, long after he had called him a child abuser, a sexual child abuser to be exact. He worked with him, or actually complimented him in 2012 with a tweet, said they got everything straight. And in 2014, 4 years after the tweets that Blaire White displayed, he actually did a song with Blood on the Dance Floor. Here, I'll show you that.
All right, we just wrapped up Poison Apple. It's coming out spring break around March 8th.
Notice the tweet condemning Davi Vanity is in 2010.
Get ready. Blood on the Dance Floor, Jeffree Star. We're back.
Poison Apple. It's coming out spring break.
Poison Apple comes out in 2014. This is quite serious. And why is it serious? Well, I mean, it's if you call out Davi Vanity for his debauchery, or his alleged debauchery, I don't know how much of a big fan you can be of Jeffree Star. Now, there's two things going on here, or two possibilities. That she simply saw the part of the video that she needed, cut it, cropped it, and put it in her own. What is that? Lazy journalism. Lifting a smaller creator's stuff without credit. All right? That is the worst crime here. But there's also the question, is she covering for Jeffree Star, and was she aware of this? It's a reasonable question under these circumstances, because Blaire's going to have to cop to lazy video making, lazy journalism on an extremely serious topic, or she's willing to look the other way with Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star is, I'll be perfectly honest with you, one of the most psychopathic personalities on this platform. In a little less than a year ago, he openly lied and accused James Charles of sexual assault. That was debunked, and he was able to worm his way out of it. Tati Westbrook, deservedly, took the brunt of the hit. She got it going. He jumped on the bandwagon and jumped off when the bandwagon caught fire. So I think Blaire is going to have to cop to, at very least, extremely shoddy journalism, laziness, and probably is going to have to condemn Jeffree Star. Now, I hate when other YouTubers do this, like, for the record, but I'll probably get accused of clout tracing too, because anytime, whether it's FaZe Banks or Keemstar or anybody that I call out or put the spotlight on or catch them in some kind of hypocrisy, it's not because I care, it's because I just want the clout. And this tweet burned my ass. And I like Blaire. I politically, I agree with her on a ton of things, and I think she's done a lot of good on the platform. I would say much more good than bad. But this really burned my ass. In response to Mimi's video, she wrote, "This is pretty stupid. Yes, I used your video to obtain a live stream from Davi that I couldn't find elsewhere. I was trying to call out a pedophile. You seriously want credit? Here's the start that burns my ass. The way to prove it's more about clout for you than holding somebody responsible." Hey, wait a minute. No, she's holding you responsible for holding a double standard. Hey, Jeffree Star is the greatest guy. You love and you trust him. And Davi Vanity bad. And it looks like, while Jeffree hasn't been accused of what Davi Vanity is, he definitely was complicit in working with somebody that you're calling a child molester 2 and 4 years after he accused him of it. So, you know, you got a cop, again, shoddy journalism and Jeffree Star, I think he needs to be disavowed. I think that's pretty clear. And the fact that you would say this right after, I'll show you a part of T Mimi's video.
I don't care. I don't give a shit if I get credit for it. I just want the message out there. That's what's important to me.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense because she's made videos on Jeffree Star and Davi Vanity. I have absolutely no reason to believe this isn't about message. And to be perfectly honest with you calling her out for just doing it for the clout is a red herring. You either did shoddy journalism or you're pandering to Jeffree Star knowing full well that he looked the other way and was willing to work with a child molester. It's one of two things. Now, I like Blaire. I'm with, she's all she's got to do is cop. And I want to believe, and I do believe, that she just saw the part she needed. She cut it, she cropped it, and didn't watch the rest of T Mimi's video. I could totally believe that. But it's completely reasonable for T Mimi and a lot of other fans to think that you were well aware, but you didn't want to throw Jeffree Star under the bus because you wanted to pander to him. You can't have it both ways. That's not fair. So my advice, Blaire, cop to it. Cop to the bad journalism. This is your out, and do better. Because if you do, with so many other YouTubers that use this red herring fallacy about clout and swing your fan base, it's gonna burn you. It's Susie Lou.